I recently read Music to My Heirs, a guide to navigating the challenges of generational wealth and how to succeed, by author Stephen C. Lewis. Take a second and imagine your life is a Dickens novel, and you travel 30 years into the future to see how the wealth you've passed on has affected your children and your grandchildren. Has the money you passed on to your heirs enhanced their lives, or has it made them entitled and complacent? Does your family fortune continue to grow and contribute to a charitable organization you care for, or has your money been lost by future generations, thus reducing the impact your family can have on the world? History suggests that 70% of wealth is lost by the second generation, and 90% of wealth is lost by the third generation. The Vanderbilt family, who built a fortune in the railroad business in the mid-1800s, amassed over $100 million, which would be worth $2 billion today. But in the 1970s, the Vanderbilt family had a reunion, and there wasn't a single millionaire in attendance. Family fortune, like the Vanderbilt family fortune, is lost by future generations for three primary reasons. First, the current generation is not sharing their knowledge of how to create and manage wealth. Second, the current generation is removing struggle from their heirs' lives, causing the next generation to lack grit. And third, the current generation fails to treat the family fortune as a business. When ultra-successful families pass down wealth, they often fail to pass on the financial knowledge needed to manage that wealth. Without the proper transfer of financial knowledge, your heirs won't manage your money with the same principles that you do. Too often, children who inherit money clear the path for the next generation and remove any struggle from their children's lives. But research shows that children who don't struggle are less likely to have a successful and fulfilling life. When vast amounts of family wealth is passed down to a generation, that generation and future generations develop a sense of entitlement, fail to develop grit, and become overly reliant on family wealth and are unable to contribute back to the family fund. When wealthy families grow, they often break up a family fund so that each member can do what they want with the money. But when a family fund is fractured, it no longer benefits from low professional fees, and it no longer has access to the investment opportunities of large funds. The result is less compound interest and less growth over time. Based on extensive research, author Stephen C. Lewis has come up with a three-step approach to address these issues and prevent generational wealth loss. To solve the knowledge gap, there must be deliberate communication with the help of a professional. The right professional helps families share their history, including both successes and failures. Next, to avoid entitlement, the current generation should implement chores for their heirs at a young age and allow them to struggle while experiencing delayed gratification in order to develop grit. Because grit, as studies show, is the #1 predictor of future success. And to prevent family wealth from eroding, a family's investments must be treated like a business rather than buckets of money. The family fund must have governance, consistent meetings, and a board of advisors. With this three-part approach, you can be assured that your money will last for generations and fuel your heirs' passion, instead of being a substitute for it. To start creating a better future for your heirs, I highly recommend reading all of Music to My Heirs, a guide to navigating the challenges of generational wealth and how to succeed, by author Stephen C. Lewis.